In a stunning display of political theatre, the Congress government in Karnataka is planning to sow the seeds of division by tabling the so-called Rohith Vemula Bill. On the surface, it claims to address discrimination in higher education, but beneath this veneer of compassion lies a dangerous cocktail of identity politics, vote bank appeasement and ideological coercion. This is not about justice or reform. It's a calculated attempt by Congress to reignite caste tensions, revive its declining Dalit and minority support, and weaponize emotions ahead of 2028 assembly elections in Karnataka. The driving force behind this bill is not grassroots demand or institutional consensus. It's a letter from Rahul Gandhi, a politically choreographed directive from the heir of Congress dynasty to name a law after Rohith Vemula, a student whose tragic suicide in 2016 was hijacked by the Congress ecosystem as a rallying cry for caste-based victimhood, despite the lack of legal and factual clarity. Multiple probes, including a closure report filed by Gachibowli Police in 2024, concluded that Vemula's scheduled caste certificate was not legally valid and that there was no conclusive evidence of caste harassment being the direct cause of his death. Yet the Congress party continues to elevate his case as a symbol of systemic discrimination, not because it holds water legally or morally, but because it suits their electoral narrative. The proposed bill, titled the Karnataka Rohith Vemula Prevention of Exclusion or Injustice, Right to Education and Dignity Bill 2025, seeks to criminalize vague and broadly defined acts of discrimination on campuses. These offences would be cognizable, non-bailable and punishable with up to 3 years in prison. Educational institutions that allegedly fail to ensure equality could be penalized by complete withdrawal of funding. In a state already plagued with academic politicization, this opens the floodgates for ideological witch hunts and weaponization of grievance. The language of the bill is deliberately loose, allowing almost any academic or disciplinary disagreement to be framed as a discrimination. Faculty members and administrators who fail to toe the Congress ideological line could be targeted, jailed, or professionally ruined. Institutions critical of the ruling party's politics could face financial throttling. This is not justice, it's intimidation. The implications are chilling. A professor challenging Marxist history or contesting the misuse of caste narratives could be charged with harassment. A university enforcing merit-based promotion could be accused of exclusion. And in this hypersensitive environment, dissent becomes dangerous. Instead of fostering free inquiry and honest debate, the Congress wants campuses to become echo chambers for its political messaging. Worse still, the bill is not even rooted in Karnataka's educational challenges. Rohith Vemula was not from Karnataka, he was from Telangana. His death occurred in Hyderabad. His caste status remains disputed, yet his name is being cynically invoked to serve a narrative detached from both regional and legal realities. This is classic Congress politics: emotion over evidence, drama over data, symbolism over substance. The party that failed to provide Dalits with quality education, employment, or real empowerment for over 6 decades now wants to use their pain as a political tool. It is not interested in systemic reform, it is interested in electoral mathematics. The timing of the bill says it all. With the 2028 assembly elections approaching in Karnataka and the Congress base eroding rapidly, especially among Dalits and the OBCs, gravitating towards the BJP's development-centric vision, the party is desperate for a wedge issue. The bill is not about student welfare, it's about vote bank revival. In stark contrast, the BJP under Narendra Modi has prioritized measurable reform and institutional upliftment, from NEP 2020 to scholarships, from digital classrooms to targeted welfare schemes for SC/ST youth. the BJP's approach is rooted in empowerment, not entitlement. It focuses on creating opportunities, not curating grievances. By framing policies based on data, dialogue, and inclusive development, the BJP has changed the grammar of governance. Meanwhile, Congress continues to operate in the old language of caste polarization and selective outrage. What the Congress fails to understand is that the youth of this nation are no longer swayed by tokenism. They demand accountability, not slogans. They seek mentorship, not manipulation. Students across castes want dignity, merit, and equal opportunity, not guilt-ridden, legally questionable legislation that puts fear over freedom. The Rohith Vemula Bill, far from addressing the real issues of educational exclusion, will drag institutions into ideological battles, create mistrust in classrooms, and politicize academic administration. It will also make it harder for genuine discrimination cases to be taken seriously, as the system will now be overwhelmed with false accusations driven by vendetta or politics. Furthermore, the Congress move disrespects the constitutional process. When laws are built not on legislative debate or judicial clarity, but on emotional symbolism dictated by one party's narrative, they weaken the very democratic institutions they claim to protect. This bill will further erode academic independence and institutional credibility in Karnataka. In the long run, the biggest victims will be students themselves, whose education will suffer as campuses become ideological battlegrounds. The Congress must introspect. Legislation is not a tool for reputation laundering. It cannot mask decades of neglect and betrayal of the very communities it now claims to defend. By invoking Rohith Vemula's name, the party is not honoring him, it is exploiting him. Real justice for students means improving infrastructure, hiring quality faculty, promoting research, and protecting freedom of expression across the board. It does not mean jailing educators for thought crimes or bankrupting colleges for disagreeing with political class. This bill, if passed, will go down not as a milestone in social justice, but as a monument to political cynicism. Karnataka deserves better. India deserves better.